Gorgeous. Welcome to heaven. You already know where we are. Oh, hello. You mind posing for a picture? Welcome to heaven. Cute. Hey, check this out. Look at that cloud system right there forming right in front of the sun. Look at that. You think the cloud's moving away from the sun, out of the way, but it's actually developing right there. That's wild. It was a tiny cloud like 3 minutes ago. The cloud that keeps moving, but it never moves. What you know about that? The cloud that moves, but it never moves. Quite the experience. That thing was no bigger than my fist when I first got here. And you're staying on one leg. I hope it's not hurt. I hope your left one's not hurt. Oh, good, it's not. Thanks for letting me know. You know, I was worried about you for a minute there. Welcome to heaven. I don't get it. Don't think I ever will. But I'll get it eventually. If you recognize those hieroglyphics, you know exactly where we are. Ain't nothing like picking up heaven. I think the only ones that I don't look crazy for are the ones out here, you know? The ones that don't look, you know, crazy doing this kind of hobby is them. I might look crazy in front of the humans. I know that for a fact. There's a man out here picking up the garbage. See, people are backwards these days. They see me doing this kind of thing, and they think that you're going to call them out. But why would they think that, though? Because they're guilty. That's why. The ones who do this kind of thing, spread it out, litter, they're the ones who think like that. They don't think you're doing good. It's surprising how many times you try to do that kind of thing and people around just take off. They do. They just take off. What the heck do they got going on here? They put a fence here? Well, there's always a way around something. Check this out. Dang. Heavenly for real. Hope you enjoy my little community service videos. I know they're not much. And it's late too, it's already like 7:15. At least I have an hour left. But I'm always out until dark. Trying to take advantage. The right way, that is. Not the wrong way. Take advantage of the situation at hand, the experience. But this, man, stuff. Well, that's cool. I don't see 1,000 bottles. Hey, it's the ice cream truck. Or is it? It's that unforgettable song. The song that makes us come running. Depends on where you are, though. I guess that's where everybody went. That's why they're not out here. They went out to chase down the ice cream truck. Oh no. Oh no. I haven't been out here in at least almost 8 months, guys. Yeah, I'm leaning up against the tree right here, bracing myself for this disaster. No. No. I don't ever use the word hate in my videos. I never do. I never do, guys. I don't believe in hate. I don't. I believe in something else. Love, that kind of thing. But they can't control the land out here. They can't when it goes up for sale. Things go missing. They cleared out the forest right here. This humongous forest right here, they cleared it out. I bet they got it all fenced off up here. No one's going to be able to cross ever again. Let's go take a look at this destruction of heaven. Man, all these years coming out here. And you can just walk around in these woods. You can never get lost, which is good. You can always find your way back. Man, come on. Now I'm like in a totally different place. The brightness comes down backwards. Now I'm going to get lost. Situations like this will get you lost. On how the brightness comes through right here because of the lack of trees, the lack of shadows. And it can turn you around in a heartbeat. It can throw off your sense of direction. No matter what time it is, no matter what season, what day it is. do this, though. You're going to say, Delmate, you're in suburbia. They're probably going to throw up a bunch of condos. They're going to fence it off and call it private property. It no longer belongs to the feds, the Park Service out here. We wiped it out. No access granted anymore. No, I'm not going to go up there. I'm just going to... Look how different this looks now. Look at this. Hold on. Yeah, this is definitely going to get me turned around. I got to keep my bearings correct. Unrecognizable. I'm going to say it, guys. I hate this. I hate this. I do. It's like the land isn't ours anymore. It's not. The land isn't ours anymore. Everywhere we go, we find places like this where we used to be able to go out and just explore around deep in the woods. And then you come back a few months later and they rip it out right from under you. Man, I know they're going to put fences up here. They got to. These are probably going to be behind the houses, behind the condos. They're probably going to have parking lined this section over here on the outside of the buildings and all. Well, you know how development works. When they do something like this, they have to, do some of their own development out here. What do they call that? When they have to pitch in and do their own thing to try to improve the community. And they're doing it. They're doing it right here. They're doing it. I forgot what they call this, though. Incentives or something like that. Development incentives. Or developments. And developers are almost, they're required to do something like this to try to improve on the surrounding area that they purchased. What a shame. No, I'm not talking about this. This is nice. This is nice right here. Imagine all the deer that have to go elsewhere now. Imagine all the spirits, the souls, the faces of the past, They have nothing to hang on to in this zone right here. They have to transfer on elsewhere. So they can be recognized and live on, until the next time they come around in a human body. This is brand spanking new. I tell you, this thing right here is probably wouldn't last 2.5 months. I'm surprised they didn't put up a sign that said no trespassing. You know what I'm about to say. You know exactly what I'm about to say. Imagine how many artifacts that they found. Imagine that. Right next to the river. In a historic location. They found a whole lot. And it gets even worse. Boy, does it ever get even worse? It's almost like there's no place to hide anymore, you know? No place to hide. I bet she was screaming. I bet she was screaming right before they cut her down. I know she was screaming. I think I figured that one out. A long time ago when I was out there trying to explore, Da Vinci style, in these woods, along this waterway, this creek. There was that one video where I was climbing up the incline of the bank, and I started the video real shaky, like this, because I was hanging on. Because there was a lady screaming. And you barely got her in the beginning of that clip. I've never heard a lady scream like that before. Never. And then a month later, in that deep forest location, where I heard a lady screaming. A little bit after that, they did the same thing you see here. Someone doesn't like being cut down. And I know exactly who it is, too. What did you say? You said hi? Or you said mine? Or you said cry? Right here. I was passing right by and I just heard him. Sounded like a kid. Mine? Or cry? Or hi? Hello. I tried to save it. Every time I talk in my videos, I'm always trying to save it. That's the purpose of the recordings. Every time I go out. But it seems like everywhere I go out, they develop. It's almost like the development follows me everywhere. Almost like development follows me everywhere. It's almost like they erase my own past by creating a different kind of future. Seemingly put me in a different location on a different planet in a different time. Just months apart. I don't know if they're trying to protect me or what by doing this kind of thing. So people don't recognize where I go. They take something recognizable and make it unrecognizable. Looks like it's about time I break out the bags. It's going to get unbearable. And they're going to put it right under the largest tulip tree of life out here, too. Not fair. Got to be careful when you do that, because they're always watching. I'm just going to take this where I know it goes. Behind the old Pfizer or whatever it was. That incredible office complex that was built back in like the early to mid 80s, I think it was. I told you about that before. They had those Metatron style office buildings all set in the woods, surrounded by nothing but forest land out here. And they took that masterpiece down. It was Da Vinci style too. It was. Everything was elevated off the ground with steel at particular angles. You talk about modern. If I had the money, I would have bought that thing in a heartbeat. The entire complex, even though it was just maybe about 4 buildings. And I would have modernized that even more. Modern and contemporary. Sculptures way out here. I've had fantasies like that before. You know, deconstruct something like that and take it out into a very, urban location or something and reconstruct it somewhere else, but don't destroy it. Just deconstruct it and put it back together again, someplace else. Yeah, no, I said I was going to get the bags. I will, I promise you that. Trust me, no one's going to pick that up. Trust me on that. Well, except for me. You got to be careful when you dig out here. You don't know what's going to pop out of the ground. I might fill up 3 bags with plastic bottles already. You're going to say, hey man, go up there, take a look. No, I'm not going to do that. It's illegal. You know they got no trespassing signs at a certain point up there. They have to keep people like me off the lands. It would have been nice if it was going to be like some major park or something like that. But it's going to be a major development. That's going to have a lot of people coming out here, which is, good for them. It's good for them. It's just going to be more congested out here. A lot more congested. Which means what? You have a lot more people out here. There's going to be half of those people dropping something. Who knows? It could have been another golf course that they're developing. just like the one across the river over here. Country Club of the South. Because in this location, there's a bunch of golf course communities that line the Chattahoochee. Hey, check this out. Thank the Lord for benches. And they're concrete too, they're not fake plastic. Where's the concrete piece down here that was on the bank like 3 years ago? There was another one, another column for the bench. I think that might be the one right there. Watch this though. I know that they're going to answer if I ask a question. Like, who burned down the gazebo right here? Do you remember who burned down the gazebo out here? Find my grave. It's up here on the hill. You passed it. You missed it. I don't like it here anymore. They cut down my home. My grave is deep underground. I'm 1,700 years old, but they don't know how old they are. They've been counting years long ago. Little children's graves up on the hill. They lived up here by the highway. Beautiful. Check that out. Well, that's a cool looking scene right there. Wonder what they meant in one of those videos a long time ago when they said, "You can hear her." You can hear her. But who is she? But who are the ones that said, "I can hear her"? These after work chill sessions are too short, And I gotta hurry back. It's already like 7:55. And I gotta pick up the garbage. Who the heck is that? that was a dude right here. Right here. I can feel the vibration of their voice. I could actually feel that thing. They said 2 syllables. I'll have to listen back to the audio. I don't know if I'm going to get it though. Maybe they're trying to tell me I had to look at something deeper. Hold on. I got bottles under my arm. They probably want to get my attention to see something. Heck yeah, they wanted to turn me around to see something. Man. Excuse me, little guys. I'm just trying to get this crap right here. Don't mind me. I didn't put it there. Let me go ahead and break out the bags. That's where that office building used to be. Right here. I know a lot of things have changed out here. A ton of things have changed. Why do I keep going when I know I gotta turn back? It's crazy though. It's almost like they keep pulling me out of places like this to make me record all this, you know. I mean, I had really no reason to come out here today. It's just the timing was perfect when I left work. And I mean perfect in a different way. It's not like I got out of work early. I got out of work a little bit too late. So I had to find a place that was kind of like equal to where I can go. That would make it easier for me to get out. And a place I can get to quicker than most of the other after work adventure spots. And this just happened to be it. It's like the balance of that life, you know. You end up in certain places that you're meant to be in, guided by time itself. No, I'm not going to cross it. You're going to say, why not? Because I got to turn around and pick things up. I wish I could have picked up this one. Gargantuan, baby. The one that I thought was over 300 years old. She's probably barely about 150. Split trunk. Maybe this was part of her, you know. I know it's part of her. One of the oldest trees out here. And part of her fell off like a broken arm. Probably right after she found out that they were going to do something like this out here. And it broke her. Just the feeling alone. Excuse me. Just the feeling alone can easily cause something like this. You know, that's why you got to be careful with the soul. Don't make fun of people. Don't cause harm or anything like that. Because things always radiate outward. Once it reaches the inside, but the list goes on when it comes to things that you shouldn't do. I mean, every time they do something like this, it's almost like rubbing it in my face. Looks like we're going to have another beautiful sunset tonight. Look at that. Love hearing this sound, really, though. The sound of walking on the gravel and stuff. Always brings back major memories, just like those times when I was a child down in Harris County, walking up and down the dirt roads. I'll never forget the feel of the gravel underneath my feet, the shoes, the sound of it. It's like every time I do this, I get transplanted back into that time. Those times. Oops, I think I lost something. Hold on. I'm looking for something. I missed it down here. I said I was going to promise to come back to get it. You can't miss it. It was on this side. There it is right here. At least the cleanup this time doesn't require 17 industrial sized garbage bags, you know. Always make sure there's nothing living inside. Always have to give them another house, a new house. Oh no. Sorry guys, it wasn't my fault. It's never my fault. Let's hope I see it all in the dark. Or close to it, you know. But because of this now, it's truly not going to be dark, is it? So I don't think I'm going to have a problem seeing it. The goal is to fill up 3 bags. Oh boy. Let's hope I remember the ones that I saw, that I promised I would come back to get. Hey, we're in luck. Some of the ones who litter just leave out the entire bag. All we gotta do is just pick it up. But we might be able to use the bag, you know. Look, they even, well, the stick fell on top of it. I thought they might have put the stick there to keep it from blowing away. They went to Walmart. It's not fun staying in those self-checkout lines. That's probably why they littered. Because they stood in line so long behind the self-checkout aisle. Dang, they got me stopping every 50 feet. Yep, every little piece has got to go. You know, the sad thing is that when it comes to this, is that no matter what I pick up tonight, which is going to be everything that I can get, which is basically going to be everything, it makes me feel like it doesn't even matter now because of this. I mean, if it was a complete forest, you would be cleaning for them, you know. You would be cleaning up for nature itself. But there's a lot less out here now. So whatever I clean up for nature is going to be for this little tiny strip through the landscape. That's it. For this portion of it, that is. No, that's not an arrowhead. You're not allowed to touch or look out here. Oops. That didn't work, did it? But we have to make it work. Because if we don't, it won't work. I'm looking for that bench. I remember there was like a bench down here, like a metal bench that someone stole from the park like 5 years ago. And it sat down here for like 3 years. It was probably wiped out a couple of years ago when the floodwaters came through, like the major ones, you know. I remember everything though, where everything used to be, no matter how old or whatever it was. I know exactly, and I remember where everything used to be, what everything was. What happened to people's lives, you know. Even deaths, murders. I remember everything. I'll give you an example. There was a motel over there by Pleasant Hill, you know, the access road. Over there, just south of Pleasant Hill Road, not Pleasant Hill, but Pleasantdale Road. Behind that gas station, the Quick Trip gas station. It wasn't a Quick Trip long time ago. It's that one that sits up on the hill in front of that factory place. In between Northcrest and Pleasantdale. And I remember when the late night clerk got murdered. Back in 1991. Imagine trying to remember something like that when you're 12 years old. It's like I remember everybody. Everything like that. Haven't moved far though. Here's where the bench used to be, right here. It was right down there. That's when the sands were exposed. And you could walk down here and sit on the bench that someone stole from the park. How do people get away with something like that though? I mean, how do you not see two people carrying a metal bench? I don't know if they got it from that soccer field or not. That makeshift soccer field. Yeah, it stuck around for a while though. I mean, the water's pushed it around a little bit, but then it was gone. Jones Bridge Park. Really though, to be honest with you, it's not Jones Bridge Park without the bridge. And the more you change it like this, the more of its identity that you take away from it. Before you know it, they're going to name it something else. Give it a new identity, a new name. Let's go and make those predictions now. Jones Bridge Road is not going to be known as Jones Bridge Road within the next 5 or 7 years. It's not. They're going to name it something else. Thus, the name of the park is going to change to match the name of the new road, which is probably going to be regraded. It's going to be changed into some kind of 4-lane highway since it's a major road through the location. Jones Bridge Road is not going to be Jones Bridge Road much longer. Wonder what it's going to be though. Not garbage. Yeah, when you start picking up a glass, that's going to start getting heavy. Yeah. All right, let's run down here real quick. I think the majority of it's going to be closer to the other side, I just don't want to become a failure tonight. I missed one thing that I lay my eyes on, like recording it, If you record it, you see it. It becomes part of you because you saw it with your own eyes. Therefore, you have a responsibility to pick it up, even though you might think you don't have the responsibility. It's starting to become like a Blair Witch style project video. I don't desire it to be like that. I'm just hurrying up and it's a shaky camera. You can only see this at a particular angle. That thing right there is going to fill up a bag. Because it is a bag, it might be full. Look, we're grocery shopping. Oh no, it's not full. It's just a little bit inflated on one side, but it's not a balloon, it just looks like that. Can't be dropping anything. There's a lot of stuff up there. We saw it earlier. I gotta get that. It's gonna fill up an entire bag. I'm glad that you're sticking around watching me clean up garbage. The more there is, the longer it takes for me to clean it up. Let me grab this stuff and get moving. I'm taking too long. Man, dang. I don't know if I should leave this for them out here, you know. Make them pick it up. Look at what I just collected in that little spot. It's $8.49. But look, they made me find 2 more garbage bags too. I guess they want me to stay in the dark and pick up what I can, you know. And I haven't gotten on the other side of the pipe yet. You know that place is loaded down. Dang it. What do I get myself into? So close yet so far away. You gotta love times like this when you're practically on the other side, but you gotta go all the way around just to get there. And I gotta go all the way down there for a can? Oh, there's a bottle up here too. Ain't nothing like that recording. I can walk around with a camera in my hand all day long. 24/7. IPA. Man, my hand's getting full. Let me do this thing right. Dang. Alright. Now I need to start trying to spot bottles in the dark instead of spotting models in the light. You guys crazy. Ain't nothing like cleaning heaven. Community service. Well, I remember what that used to be like. It's like we don't have privacy anymore every time we go out. From now on, in places, you know. No privacy. Got to go back to where I remember seeing it. I can still see it though. I don't think there's too much left out here. Exactly. They're gonna think I'm crazy. Let me grab it. Imagine if you found somebody looking in bushes after dark, 9:03. The heck do I get myself into? Hey, look, the ladies are gone. They were eating. Let's see if they left us garbage we gotta pick up. Man. Yeah, I tied the bags so they wouldn't empty out. But, you know, that's the reason I don't tie the bags up, because it's harder to carry the bags when they're tied. It is. You're going to say, well, dumbass, you should have had a big garbage bag with you. Well, you're right. I should always have something big on me. Oh, beautiful. Nighttime photography, what you know about that? Nighttime cleaning, what you know about that? Hey, I'm impressed. They didn't leave anything. That was already here. It was. Well, this is cool. I predicted it was going to take 3 bags. Why do you think I had 3 bags with me? I filled up exactly 3 bags to the top with nothing else left out here. For what I covered, that is. Let me go ahead and get out of here. Nighttime janitor duties. Ain't nothing like cleaning heaven. See you in the next video.